Okay. Welcome to A Single Small Cut, one of ConTessa's games going on this spring break weekend. I am Sarah Doombringer. I am the GM. And we're going to be playing Lamentations of the Flame Princess. So based on the fact that it's Lamentations and it's me, that means there's probably going to be a lot of foul language, and if we run into any violence, it's going to get really graphic. So if that's not your thing, you should not watch this game. For everyone else who likes that, welcome. We're glad to have you. So I have some very awesome people who are going to be playing with me today. Why don't we go around, introduce yourself. I know most of you have never played Lamentations before, but introduce yourself, tell us about your character. John, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'm John Bell. I'm going to be playing Narcissa Snow. She's a third level Anglican vicar. That's the core of it.
All right. And David?
Well, I'm David. Let's see. I have a third level magic user, Naran Batar Sansar. We'll go with Sansar for short. And currently somewhat devoid of personality. We will see.
I'm sure you will find much personality.
Yeah.
Clayton?
Yes, I'm Clay. I am playing Nicholas Snow, aka Nico, third level specialist. I expect someone who has spent far too much time out in the woods and not enough time interacting with people.
Excellent. And you are, in fact, Narcissa's older brother.
Okay. As expected, so sibling quibbles and infighting.
However, whatever makes you two happy. And of course, last but not least,
I'm Cecil, playing Catherine Fitcher. She's a third level fighter who was not very good at doing anything ever except lifting heavy shit.
Awesome. All right. Now, we've already done some stuff off broadcast, like set up a marching order, and the guys have figured out some of the stuff about how they want to play. But we're just going to jump right into the adventure. So, the four of you are an adventuring group. And you just had left another town a couple of days ago. A young woman named Teresa had offered to guide you through some nasty swamps that lay between you and where you hope the next amount of civilization is. Now, as you went through these swamps, you discovered that there were things in there that should not be, things that hid from God. And your travel through the swamp actually turned into more of a flight. None of you were injured, but during your flight from these ungodly creatures, Teresa was injured. So now you've come to the edge of the swamp. You're covered in mud. You're tired. Teresa is limping along. So one of the creatures had scored marks down her leg, and she's feverish and praying. She is not looking good. You're running low on food, and at the edge of the swamp, praise above, you found a road. The sun is beginning to set, and in the distance, you can see a couple of houses silhouetted, as well as a bigger building that you can hear a bell tolling from. So you have found refuge after a nightmarish journey through a dark, dark swamp.
Well, very good. Things are looking up. Teresa, are you able to walk, or should you rest here while we go and get you some assistance?
Teresa, who, like I said, she's a young woman. She's pretty good at outdoor stuff, but whatever attacked her seemed to hurt her both physically and in her mind. She's been babbling at you guys. And now whenever you ask that, she kind of clutches at you. Don't leave me here for the things to find me. Please don't leave me alone. I know if I close my eyes, they will find me.
He's gone mad from pain, I say, and I'm going to put an arm around her, slop the other one around this way, and kind of carry her in the direction of the light. I'll use my other hand to kind of soothe her a little bit as best I can. Come, we have to make for the village. To rest in pieces.
Does the tolling of the bells, is it like a chiming like an hour, or is there a rhythm or anything to that, or?
It's a fantastic question. As you're walking along the road, you start to count the tolls, and like I said, the sun is beginning to set. It's still flooding the plain in front of you with light because now that you've gotten out of the swamps, it's pretty flat land, and so the sunlight goes for quite a while. But you hear the bell. It tolls once, twice, 3 times, and the 4th tolling stops short, like it didn't finish its ring, and then all is silent.
Ominous.
We must be cautious.
I'm sure you guys are always cautious, or you wouldn't still be alive.
Do we want to go check out the tower with the bell, or do we want to check out the other houses?
I would just go to the first structure and
See what's up.
Okay.
If we need to, I can carry Teresa.
Before we get too close, can I sort of I want to see if anybody's reacting to the bells in the villages. There are the signs of activity, people roaming around. Can I even see anyone up in the tower ringing the bell? Or?
Okay. As you guys get closer, you can tell that this is just a very small hamlet. There's about a half dozen houses. One slightly larger building that appears to be some kind of shop or something of that nature. And then there's the church in the center of town. As it grows late, you see a couple of pins with goats inside who kind of stand there and chew and watch you walk by. But you don't really see a whole lot of people stirring. Some of the cottages have lights on, and the first one that you come to looks like a pretty nice, well-kept house, probably for a single family. They do have an outbuilding that has a cow inside, and there is light inside.
Should we knock and see if they can help us out with Teresa?
Mm-hmm.
oh yes, of course.
Okay.
I will knock on the door unless someone steps forward to do so.
I'll knock on the door.
Okay. After a few moments, you hear a wavering voice of an older woman who tells you to hold your horses. I'll be right there, dear. Eventually, she does open the door. You see there before you is a old woman with long white hair. She is wearing a loose robe, like she's getting ready for bed. And her face is very creased. When she opens the door, warm candlelight and the smell of herbs comes out. She peers at you and blinks, and you get the impression she might not be able to see very well. Yes?
I'm going to step back out of the doorway and let someone smarter than me talk to her.
Greetings, madam. We have narrowly escaped grievous injury in the swamp, yet one of us is badly in need of assistance. May we impose upon you, or can you point us in the direction of some place where we might get assistance for our friend Teresa here?
And she keeps looking at all of you more than once, and her eyebrows draw together. Her hands are shaking a little, and she clutches her shawl closer to herself. Well, dears, I'm very sorry, but I am simply an old woman, and I know better than to let strangers in my house at night. I would suggest that you talk to Father Bradley in the church. He would be happy to help your friend.
Very good. Is there an inn in this town?
Oh no, dear, but I'm sure that Father Bradley will let you sleep in the church. It's much more comfortable than a cowshed anyway, which is all anyone would have to offer you.
Very good. Thank you for your assistance. May I get your name, madam?
She kind of stares at you for a long moment before finally telling you that she's Sylvia Carroll.
Sylvia Carroll. And I'm sorry, the name of the parson in the church, or the priest in the church again?
Father Bradley. He is a kind man, very God-fearing. He will help you.
Thank you.
Sylvia, what was the source of the ringing of the bells? Why were they being rung? I asked her.
She has started to close the door, but she will kind of wait. It's only open enough that she can kind of peer out.
Yeah. I'm still holding Teresa, peering back at her.
Well, dear, they ring the bells at night to remind everyone to say their prayers before they go to sleep. And she kind of looks at the church. I don't hear that well. They did seem kind of short tonight, but I don't know. Maybe the bell is broken again. It happens sometime.
Of course. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sylvia. You have been most kind.
And she will nod and close the door enough that she can just look out with one eye and watch you leave, even though you're pretty sure that she probably can't see you very far.
Okay. That as far as the church goes, are there competing religions in here, or do we know what the religion of this church is going to be?
Well, you're not 100% sure. So let me give you a little bit of description to help you out here. So like I said, there's about 6 or 7 more other houses in the village, but there is only one main road, the one that you followed from the swamp. And that road leads directly to the largest building in the center, which is the church. You do know that this particular area is kind of, you've been walking through forests and swamps and the wilds for days now. It's a little bit untamed, and there are rumors of heathens in the hills who follow no true God. So you're not 100% sure what kind of church you'll find. Whoops, I went too far. The church itself, what you can see from the road, is it's made from dressed slate gray fieldstone, held into place with dingy white mortar. You can, even in the evening light, you can tell there's moss growing on the northern walls. And there's a small churchyard bearing simple headstones along the southern side. It has a squat 10-foot-tall steeple adorned with a bronze cross turned green with verdigris, and it has narrow Gothic windows that have some sort of stained glass, but you can't really tell what the pictures are. Carved into the lintel over the front double doors is the church's name. You're not close enough yet to see it. Off to one side is a smaller building that you would assume to be a rectory. But aside from the cross on the church, there's not a lot to tell you about who worships in there. All the other houses in the village are pretty similar to Sylvia's. They've all obviously been there for a long time, but they're pretty simple little dwellings.
How many houses are in between where we're at and the church?
There are 2 more. The houses are kind of scattered in almost a semicircle around the church. And the road that leads up to the church pauses in a lot, kind of a square, like a cleared out center of town kind of thing. And then the road itself continues on north.
Is the church built on like a particularly defensible position? Like, is it on a hill or somehow like on a different terrain from the rest of the town, or is it just it's been sort of cleared out around it?
Everything's pretty flat. The main difference with the church is there's the cleared yard in front of it. Other than that, it has very well-tended grass that's been cut low around it. There's a small, low fence around the graveyard that's obviously more for, looks than actual barrier.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it looks to be made from the same material as all the little houses.
Okay. Do you guys want to stop at any of the other houses, or should we head straight for the church?
Do the two closest houses, do they have lights on? Can we see any lights?
One does, one does not. The next one that you would see along your path does not have a light on, but the one after it does.
I'll stop in.
You want to stop at the one with the light on?
Yeah, I'll start pulling Teresa towards the direction of the church, but as we pass that house, I'll knock on the door. Hello, is anyone home?
Teresa begins crying, and her face is drawn with pain. She keeps calling upon the Lord to save her from the horrors in the night.
I'll soothe her hair again. Push her hair.
I think it would be best, rather than going from house to house, if we simply called out and see if there's anyone who can render us aid. Hello? We are persons from the swamp. We have an injured girl here, and we require assistance.
Oh, we're swamp people.
That's totally legit.
That's right. With the sound of dueling banjos in the background, if I can pull it out.
Yeah.
Covered in mud, walk out of the swamp, ask for help.
So, you said that there was a rectory next to the church. Is the rectory on the same side as the graveyard with the stones, or are we?
It's on the opposite side. It's on the north.
Okay.
While your companions are calling out about being swamp people.
Right. Are there lights on in the rectory, or?
There are no lights on in the rectory, but as Teresa continues to wail, and Sansar begins yelling for help, you notice that a light kindles in the church, and the front door opens, and you can see a person silhouetted in its doorway.
Yeah. The silhouette, is it gendered or in nondescript?
The silhouette is of a fairly tall, gangly individual who is wearing robes. You get an impression of a little bit of hair, maybe.
Okay. Then I will approach with arms outstretched and giving greetings and trying to look harmless and friendly.
I'll come up behind Nico with Teresa.
Okay. Is everyone else coming, or do you guys want to do something else?
Yeah, sure. Follow.
Okay.
Hello, Sylvia from down the way has directed us to seek Father Bradley, that we have an injured companion that is in dire need of assistance, and we would greatly appreciate some help if there is any to be had here.
Okay. Now that you're closer, you can see that the person standing in the doorway is a man. It's still he's still a little silhouetted, so you can't see him very well. But he seems pretty young, and he nods and smiles at you and says, Of course, my children Come inside, and I will tend to your friend.
Before we go inside, I shout to him, "Are you Father Bradley?"
And he begins wiping his hands over the front of his cassock, but he smiles at Catherine. Why, no, ma'am. I am Father Clement. Father Bradley is ill with gout, and the neighboring town sent me to watch over his flock. Are you part of his flock?
We are strangers here, and are not familiar with any of the flocks in this vicinity. We are quite far afield from where we expected to be. You said he's wiping his hands on his cassock. Can I see whether there's anything left behind, or is that in shadow?
Oh, it's in shadow, man.
Okay.
I'd like to whisper to whoever's.
Oh yeah, it's like we're in a game or something.
I'd like to whisper to whoever's closest to me that he should come to us to help Teresa. We shouldn't go to him.
Right. Then I have a pipe and tobacco and a tinder box. I would like to attempt to light my pipe to see if I can't get a little bit of light in front of me.
That's hilarious. Okay, so you begin to light your pipe. Now, Father Clement does not advance. He's still kind of wiping his hands off on his clothes and staring at all of you.
I give him the biggest shit-eating grin I can manage.
I'm gonna start bringing Teresa in. I think, unless like there's a better option. We're just out here on the middle of the street. Like,
right.
Dark's falling. There's swamp beasts around.
I'd like to help Narcissa take Teresa up to old Father Scary.
Yeah.
I like this man. I trust it implicitly. I will assist the others.
Okay. Father Clement does step back to allow you into the church. So, you can see that he is young. He's about your age. He's in his early 20s. His skin is well tanned and his hands are rough. He was not wiping anything off on his cassock, but you can see that he's still doing it. It seems to be more of a nervous gesture.
Mm.
He has pale green eyes that peer out from beneath his tonsured blonde hair. So, like there's about a circle of his head that he's shaved, and there's a fringe of blonde hair. He's tall but a slight build. He wears a simple cassock and cowl woven from brown homespun wool, and he wears a wooden crucifix on a chain. The church itself, what you can see from where you're standing, the inside is very plain and utilitarian. The part you're in, there is a set of stairs to your left that you can pretty much guess probably lead up to the bell tower, judging from where it was outside.
Mm.
The ceiling here is kind of low, and you can see further out into the main body of the church, the ceiling goes up again. Let's see. There are no pews, and the pointed ceiling of the main part of the church stands about 20 feet above the flagstone floor. You can, at the end, you can see an altar and a pulpit, plus something that looks kind of like a gate. But right now, Father Clement allowed you into the doors, but now he stops you all and he's examining Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys want to do?
I say sort of half distractedly to him as I look past and observe the church. I say, she was injured in the swamps. Horrendous creatures attacked us. We just barely managed to get away with our lives. And I'm sort of going to circle around and get like closer in towards the church if I could.
So you're examining the church.
Yeah.
What is everyone else doing?
I'm confused as to where the chairs are.
I'm sorry, what?
Goofing.
I'm sitting down in the first comfortable place I see, taking off my boots.
There are no comfortable places to sit. There
Well,
are
the
no
floor
pews.
will have to do then.
So you sit down on the floor, begin taking off your boots. Catherine, what are you doing?
I ask the man of religion in there where we can put Teresa to
Okay.
get her off our backs.
And Nico.
That I am going to stand off to the side, just at the edge of the door, and point of question. So this is like a Judeo-Christian, at least appearing church. Is our cleric
Yeah, I'm an
also?
Anglican. Yeah.
Okay, Anglican. Okay.
33 articles.
So I'm going to make some inquiries as to Father Bradley's gout and whether I'm going to, without consulting our cleric, volunteer our cleric's services for their kind Father Bradley.
All right. So two of you are interacting with Father Clement. One of you is checking out the church, and one of you is studying your own feet. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the church.
Sure.
So a wooden altar dominates the end. It's stained dark with use and age, and it's raised about 5 feet above the floor and is accessible by a short flight of stairs along both sides. An iron gate is set in the front of this platform. And it's dark in there, but you're pretty sure that there are stairs that lead down.
Mm-hmm.
The gate is closed. Yeah.
Sorry, when I look at the crucifix, or like any of the trappings, really, do I get a sense of like, does this look like sort of orthodoxy, as it were? Does this look like good old Anglicanism, or does this look like there might be hidden Catholics out in the woods here? So
Catholics? What the hell? Okay. Let me tell you what the crucifix looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the pulpit is the main altar and a large 8-foot-tall crucifix featuring a painted, extremely lifelike Christ. His wounds are colored a garish red, lacquered to simulate the wetness of fresh blood. A holy water font stands next to the altar, and you can see liquid glitter within. There are brass candle stands on either side of the altar. And there's not actually a perception check in Lamentations, which always throws me off because I always want to do that.
I have the search skill. Would that apply in this case?
And I have search at a 2.
I have search at a 1, but
So
It's also traditional to maybe use a surprise check. For that kind
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I will. I'm going to make some comments about, wow, that is awfully lifelike, and kind of stroll a little closer, like giving it the, that's really impressive. And I wander up to see if I can tell whether it's actually alive or once alive, or.
I'm
Well-
letting Nico draw the attention here, and I'm just kind of quietly staying in the background, watching what's going on.
Well, what I can tell you, Narcissa, is based on your knowledge of such foul things, it does have a whiff of Catholicism about it. Now, for the rest of you, because you are interacting with Father Clement, as you talk to him, you notice that he is sweating heavily. Although he's being kind of rough in his examination of Teresa. Uh, as he bends over, you can see that the top of his head is red and irritated, and blood from a single small cut trickles down his forehead. He suggests just laying her next to the stairs, and whenever Nicholas begins to walk forward, he says, "Hold, good sir. This is a
Hey.
house of worship, and none may enter it who is armed. I will ask all of you to leave your weapons here if you wish to approach the altar."
Not gonna leave my weapons here and approach the altar.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll just.
I have no interest in approaching the altar, so I'm fine with that.
I'll leave my mace, and I'm going to walk over to the holy water font. Yeah, I'll disarm and head inside.
If
Okay.
so when he says approaching the altar, is that on the other side of the gate that you were talking about?
It's kind of funky to describe, but basically, so like the floor goes straight,
Hmm.
is flat until it gets to the very end of the church, and then it rises up, and there's the gate in the part that stands up, and then behind it is the pulpit and the altar. So you have to actually walk up these stairs to get up to the altar and the pulpit and the crucifix.
Okay. From where I'm standing, how far did I get in before he gets all huffy with me?
You did not get out into the main part of the church.
Oh, okay.
So while Nicholas is thinking about it, Sansar, what are you doing?
I'll just engage the priest in conversation from where I'm sitting, rubbing my feet. Seems to be a fairly ornate church for such a humble village. Are there renowned stories of miracles which have taken place here, or perhaps it houses some relics?
He nods, but he seems kind of distracted. He's too busy watching Nicholas. Catherine, what are you doing?
I am going to stay close to the priest. I'm ever weary of religion, and I don't like being in the church. Catherine's parents try to get her to go into the nunnery. She lifts heavy stuff much better than prays, so she didn't even want to go to the church to begin with.
Sometime I'd like to hear how your relationship is with Narcissa, but for now, so Narcissa, you've walked forward. So you can see that those stained glass windows, they're depicting scenes of saints being tortured and presenting their eyes on platters and showing their sainthood.
Yeah.
This is why I don't like religion. It's
Getting their murder on.
And you can examine the holy water font. So if you want to give me a search roll, unless you have a question.
Oh no, is that just a D6 or?
Yeah.
Bam. 6.
So you only make these rolls on a 1.
Oh.
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Sorry.
I guess what I'm trying to do is just sort of I touch my fingers into the water for a moment, and just sort of take them out and make a little cross on my forehead, and smell the faint traces of water just to see if it smells pure. And I assume I turn up nothing.
It does smell like water that various unwashed farmers have been dipping their hands in for weeks.
Delicious.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to your imagination.
Yeah.
Okay, so Father Clement is getting a little bit more agitated. He's wiping his hands on his cassock again and rubbing his head, like kind of almost like he expects to find hair there.
Okay. And I'm going to go approach him again with the big grin and like, oh, that's a bad cut. How'd you get that? maybe our cleric, my sister cleric friend here, can help you with that.
Father Clement puts his shoulders back, nods, and scowls down at Sansar. I'm sure you're a heathen, sir, but at least have the decency to stand in the house of God. Perhaps all of you would like to join me in front of the altar, and we can pray for your sins.
I'd like to step up, buff-like, to old Clement and ask him if he can help Teresa or not, so we can go somewhere that can help her.
Of course I can help her. I just am wary of strangers and would feel much better if you would join me for a quick prayer.
Yes, of course, Father, I say from across the room at the Holy Water. Come, everyone.
Now that you have, like, typhoid fever from touching the water.
Now that I've gone holy water.
I will grumble as I rise to my feet with much ritual, as if it takes an enormous amount of effort. Yes, let's do this then. We'll pray.
Do you put your boots back on?
Not at present.
Do you disarm yourself?
I'm not really armed to speak anyway. Well, I guess
That's
I do
true.
I have a staff, so I probably left that at the door anyway. And if he looks at the dagger I'm wearing, I'll say take it out and drop it on the floor with a sense of exasperation.
He did in fact look at your dagger. All right, Nicholas and Catherine, it's up to you. Father Clement is giving you the stink eye.
I'll put my sword down, but I would like to try to hide my dagger from him seeing it, and I'll put my shield down too.
He does not seem to notice your dagger.
Dagger's hidden, swords down.
So, sorry, I cut out there for a second. Did he wants us all to approach and de-weapon, and I take it if I decline, it looks like he's going to be very put out with us.
Yeah. He's now staring at you because all of your friends have disarmed themselves and are walking into the church. He stares at you. Do you not want this young woman to receive help? Do you not believe in God?
Oh, sorry, I spaced out there for a second. Yes, of course. And I will drop the longbow and the scimitar, but I'm going to try to pocket my dagger, keep it hidden also.
He also fails to notice your dagger.
You'll have to forgive my brother. He's a bit simple, I say to Father Clement, distracting him as they hide the daggers.
Smooth.
Father Clement spits on the floor. Not specifically in anyone's direction, but in a very uncouth kind of way. He just spits on the floor and strides forward to lead you all into the church.
It's a little rude to do in front of a group of ladies.
Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
You're pretty sure he mumbles something about no fucking ladies here.
Just my belt. And I follow him right behind him.
Excellent. So all four of you walk out into the church, and he stops in front of the gate, a couple feet back. You can see that it is dark inside, and it does indeed have stairs that lead below. He makes a big show of crossing himself and kneels on the flagstones, and he gestures for you to do the same.
I'll kneel down right beside him, shoulders touching.
Okay.
Yeah,
he kind of looks at you.
Creepy Rome.
When in Rome, sure.
I'll kneel down next to Nico, preferably behind Father Bradley, and I sort of give you a little elbow and sort of say, keep an eye on the back of the church.
Okay.
All right. So the fighter is the one who's shoulder to shoulder with the priest, right?
Catherine, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll be half-cocked so that I can keep peripheral vision if I can.
Let's find out. Nothing weird going on here. All right. So, Narcissa.
Hmm. How much of a heretic is this guy?
As you're all sorry?
I said on a scale of 1 to 5. You see like a 4.5, 4 3/4, 5.25.
Well, as you all kneel there, arrows begin to fly past your face. So,
Oh,
probably a 5?
goddamn.
Can
Me
I bear hug Clement and roll around so that he's catching arrows for me?
You can, in fact, do that. So what we have going on now is there was a surprise attack. The arrows are coming from behind you and up above.
Mm.
And they did get a surprise attack on you. Unfortunately, none of them hit. So now we're going to roll initiative. So if one of you wants to roll a d6 for your party's initiative, and then we'll get to the rolling around on the floor with the priest.
I think Narcissa should roll that d6.
Yeah. Okay. 5.
All right, you guys get to go first, because the PCs always break a tie. So if you want to grapple with Father Clement, I'm going to start with that. We're going to do a contested strength roll.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to roll for him, and you roll for you. You roll a d20 and then add your strength modifier. What'd you get?
An unnatural 20.
I like that. You totally beat him. So you're able to wrestle him around, and because you're much stronger than Father Clement. And he is yelping in a very undignified way, but he will shield you from most arrows. So that will be your action for this round. All right. Who's up next? What do you guys want to do?
If I'm back in the nave, or yeah, it's the nave, right? Is the antechamber, whatever it was. Do I think
no,
they'd
you're all in front of the altar now.
Yeah, so if I wanted to sprint back there, do I think I'd still be exposed to arrows?
Most definitely. As you turn to survey the situation, you can see up in the choir loft there are 4 guys with bows. And they are cranking their crossbows, getting ready for another shot.
I'm
Okay.
going to sprint back and grab my weapons and Catherine's. What is the sword you have normally, Cecil?
Yeah, I have a dagger right now, but my sword's on the floor back there.
Yeah. So I'm running back to grab my mace and your sword,
Perfect.
just in case you need it.
Okay, so that's what Narcissa's doing. We've got Catherine covered. How about Nicholas?
That if I run back to where the weapons are, yeah, I'll go back for my my scimitar and my bow.
Okay. And Sansar?
Invisibility.
Excellent choice. Mark off your spell, and the 3 of you barely notice, but Sansar seems to have disappeared. So that will be your action for this round.
Yeah.
So you guys are running for the entrance. They will get a shot at you before you make it, so we'll see if they hit you.
Okay.
And one of them is, well, just 2 of them are firing because you can see that as the GM drops all her dice. The other one, you can see that 2 are getting ready to fire and 2 are, damn, D20s, there it is. And 2 are have disappeared from sight, but you can hear footsteps, so you know they're running somewhere.
Where's Teresa in all of this, by the way?
She's still laying by the stairs, moaning and crying out to God to help her.
Hmm.
I mean, she's not doing a whole lot of good.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're not related to this woman or anything. She was just guiding us through the swamp, badly, it would seem.
She's kind of been holding us back.
I'm not sure why we're so committed to her welfare.
Because you're good people.
That's just the kind of thing a guy who went invisible at the beginning of the battle would say.
Okay, now both, let's see, both Narcissa and Nicholas, you are hit by arrows. I know, it's so terrible. Let's see, and a crossbow. All right, Nicholas, take 3 points. Narcissa, take 1.
Got it.
So that's actually the first round of battle, first turn, whatever. That is price, not damage. So we're going to start, we're at the top of the round again. Narcissa and Nicholas, despite getting hit by arrows, you have made it to the front of the church. Sansar is running around somewhere invisible. And Catherine is wrestling with the priest. So, yeah. What do you guys want to do?
Should I roll initiative again, or does it maintain from round to round, or?
I maintain from round to round. It's just simpler.
I'd like to put my dagger up to Clement's throat and see if that stops his buddies with the bows from firing.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. So all of you here, you know, suddenly Father Clement's voice has gotten a lot higher. And he shrieks, "Stop! Stop, you fools! They're going to kill me!" However, so the two in the choir loft that are firing on you, they're still like working on reloading their crossbows. But they do look up at Clement shout. So in the front of the church, you two have reached weapons, and you can hear, you can actually now see that the other 2 crossbowmen have come down the stairs.
I'm tempted to get outside the church, like stand on the far side of the doors around the corner with the mace at the ready to bamf any enemies who come out.
So
if I'm standing outside, do I think I'll still be exposed to crossbow fire? Like if I'm around the corner?
If you're actually outside the church?
Yeah. Like if I sort of grab the weapons, continue the run out, and, you know, there's like the doorways, so I curve around the corner and, you know, hide there with like the mace at the ready.
Right. You will not be open to crossbow fire, you think, because you don't remember seeing any actual open windows. There's just the stained glass ones.
Perfect. That's what I'm going to do then.
So, Nicholas, you see your sister run out the door. What are you going to do?
Can I grab the crossbow, or grab my longbow, draw and fire in one round, or is that going to be too much?
You can get it ready, I'm going to say, I believe, because you have to actually, like, you know, finish running after getting hit and then grab your weapons. So you can get ready and fire it in the next round, or you can grab your scimitar, I believe it is, and attack this round.
Oh, okay. Is there someone within attacking range to attack?
Yeah. Let's say yes. They have run down those stairs.
Then I will wield my scimitar and yell something incoherent and charge headlong into battle.
So go ahead and roll a d20. You'll get your strength modifier to both your attack roll and to your damage.
Okay. I have no strength modifier. I rolled a 16.
All
but
right.
my melee attack bonus, it says +1.
Mm-hmm. So you get a +1 to your attack roll.
Okay.
Everybody does.
17.
So 17 hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay, that's D8. That would be a 6.
Oh, ouch. So, the one guy who's running at you with his sword over his head, also screaming like a maniac, is going too fast to stop himself, and so you thrust forward and impale him. He's still moving, he's still alive, and he's now screaming in pain, which makes Teresa start screaming even louder. So there's a lot of screaming coming from the front of the church. Sansar, what are you doing?
I'm going to go to the door, and standing in the threshold, I will look and see if the people in the village are reacting at all. And while I'm heading toward the door, I'll also pick up my staff.
So that's an interesting question. You peek out the door, but no one can see you. So there's just this floating staff, which I'm sure is totally not creepy.
Not at all.
So whenever you look outside the door, luckily Narcissa won't hit you because she can't see you.
Mm-hmm.
You see that there are a couple more lights on, and some shutters have been opened, but no one has come outside.
All right, but there's been quite a lot of noise, screaming, and so on.
Uh-huh. These are
Okay,
cautious people.
So I must assume then that the people in the village are in league with the people in the temple, or are so frightened by them that they are not going to lend any assistance. Very well then.
I allow you your assumptions.
Fair. So many people don't. Well, I'll just wait till if one of them comes close to me, I will, club them with my staff. Otherwise, I'll just observe what's happening.
Okay. Now the two guys in the choir loft are kind of looking at each other still, and they look at Father Clement. They look at each other again, like they're not quite sure whether or not to attack. So they're going to spend the entire round trying to decide whether or not they should, if they care if Father Clement is dead or not. Like, you can see that they're talking to each other, Catherine. They're like debating it. Meanwhile, there's one more guy who was not skewered, who is coming down the stairs, and he looks at his friend being skewered, looks kind of offended at that, and attacks Nicholas. As you do. Oh, and he hits. Which die is this? So take one more point of damage. It's not enough to really hurt you, but it is enough to... He kind of like pokes you with his sword while grappling his friend and pulling them off of your sword, which is probably a bad idea. There's blood everywhere now. I mean, the guy's like a fucking geyser. It's just... is complete samurai movie in here. So there's screaming, there's blood. That was our second round, so now we're at the top of the third. Let's start out with Catherine. You have your hostage. What are you doing?
Would it be possible to slit his throat and run down the church to get to my dudes, or would that need to be two separate actions?
That is two separate actions.
I'd like to start with running.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You should totally cut his throat.
Do it.
Cut his throat first, and before I steal it through the church.
All right. Since he's struggling, so I'm still going to make you do an attack roll because he's not completely helpless. He's scared of you, but
he should be. I'm going to slit his throat.
Apparently. So go ahead and do an attack roll. I'm going to lower the DC for you because he is at a disadvantage.
Sweet. I'm just going to roll. I'm going to use the dice app, I think.
Okay.
Do I use the plus for my modifier? I think so.
You would use your attack bonus.
My attack bonus?
Mm-hmm.
Which would be the melee one?
Yeah.
Oh, if you mean the dice app, no, the plus just gives you the number of dice you're rolling.
Oh.
There's no way to add arguments. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were looking at your character sheet.
Yeah, I was looking at everything. Sorry. This is my first G+ thing, so ignore those numbers at the top.
Okay.
Because that's 4. And
you got, like, fate dice.
Yeah. So it would be 14 plus 4, 18.
18. That is a hit. Go ahead and roll your damage, which on your dagger is a D4.
Right.
And I might do something nasty with the damage.
2.
All right. So you slit Father Clement's throat, and everyone's kind of busy in the front, so you're probably the only one who hears this like gurgle and he clutches at his throat. He's still alive, and he's fallen forward on the floor, and there's blood just gushing from his throat. But he gets his hand over it enough that he looks up at you and it's like, "You fucking bastard! We're gonna kill you all!" More blood, and he's starting to look kind of pale as you run away. Now, you doing that kind of took the crossbowmen by surprise. They're like, "Holy shit! What is that craziness?" So let's see if they have enough togetherness to attack you as you run. One of them does. He really didn't like Father Clement that much anyway. But he does miss you. And they both look pretty just like, "What the hell is this?" Now in the front of the church, we have screaming, we have blood. Teresa has actually gotten up on her knees and is enacting her very own personal tent revival right there in the corner. One of the thugs is like very seriously injured and is still bleeding profusely from where you skewered him. The other one, though, doesn't have a scratch on him. So what would you guys like to do? Considering one of you is invisible, one of you is outside, and one of you is engaged.
Okay. Mine will probably be the simplest, so I'll do it first. I'm going to peep around the corner as I hear the sound of someone running, and seeing that it's Catherine, I guess, is heading towards the door. I'm going to hold out her sword sort of in a way that she can easily grab it as she comes.
Okay.
Sweet.
Basically, like, readying it for her, I guess. If I can.
Like the Gatorade cup at the marathon.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are now armed. Most excellent. What's next?
I think I'm going to tip over the holy water font with the possible, assumption that if these things are bewitched or, demons, then they will not be able to stride into said holy water. So I'm gonna, as I said, I'm just gonna tip it over and I'm gonna stand in the pooling water.
So this is why I actually love running games. You guys always do some crazy ass shit that I'm not prepared for. That's okay. Can you even do that? Let's see. What is the thing made out of? One moment.
Always.
Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Now, the holy water fonts that I'm personally familiar with are all like big fucking stone things. So I'm going to say that you can't tip it over, especially not by yourself, because you're not that strong.
Well, I have a strength of 11. I'm average. Can I use my staff as a crowbar and pry it away from the wall?
What? A staff is not a crowbar.
I do have a crowbar.
It's a lever. It's the same idea. Fine, never mind. If I conclude that it's too strong for me to tip over, I'm just gonna splash water all over the place.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
In fact, you might even have like a empty bottle. Some people have empty bottles and stuff. You do not. You have cooking pots though that you can fill.
Cooking pots, yes.
Yeah, you can fill those with holy water and splash that everywhere. Clement is cussing at you. He's like laying in a pool of his own blood, and you fucking bastard, you wanker, quit throwing water on me.
Probably make me visible if you define that as an offensive action. So.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
You are tossing water around. You're not actually hurting anybody.
Very good.
You're getting him wet. At least
it's
right now.
making me feel better.
Okay. Up next, I think we should go to Nicholas and see what's going on with him.
Okay, so if I attempt to disengage, does that draw an attack of opportunity?
some reason I want to say that does Lamentations have attacks of opportunities? I know I've been running it that way. I'm getting my game systems crossed. Let's say yes.
Okay, then I will try to finish off the one that I have skewered, and
The one who is painting the walls red?
yes, that,
All right.
The place was a shithole anyways.
He really doesn't think very well of your moral character, Nicholas.
well, I am chaotic, so what are you gonna do?
I'm the lawful sibling.
You two must be fun at Christmas. Yeah. So go ahead and roll me an attack roll.
Okay, I rolled a 4, so that's a 5.
Yeah, that wouldn't even cut off a hangnail. So you swing it at the bleeding guy, who's kind of a ginger already. So it's really there's just more red everywhere, and you actually slip a little bit in his blood, so you just barely miss him.
Okay.
Let's see. So sorry, I hope you guys knew what you were signing up for with me. So Narcissa, you're still outside. You haven't done anything yet.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna shut. There's two. It's like one of those double doors, right, for the church. So I'm thinking the other ones.
That's just like you, Narcissa. Lock me in here with these assholes.
I'm gonna come back into the church, closing. No, I'm gonna just close one.
Okay.
I'm gonna shout to the rest of the party. Get out of there. Over here.
Oh, it's far too late for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll glance back into the village nervously as I say so.
Okay. You look out there. It's still the same as when Sansar looked out. That there you can see people crowded at windows, but no one is opening their door. They're all just watching.
Mm.
So I believe everyone's gone, right?
Yep.
Oh, you guys? All right. So we do have the one swordsman who is going to attack Nicholas again because he's ignoring his bleeding friend. He's like, he's dead anyway. Let's see. Plus a 2.
Yeah, these guys are real humanitarians.
And he misses. He also slips on his friend Blood, and he slips hard enough that he goes down, which all of you would probably laugh at this man lying in his friend's blood. But at that moment, the gate in the front of the church crashes open, and 2 men charge out. They are screaming in terror, and they run right at you. They're holding swords covered in blood. And as they get closer, you can see little circular bits of flesh have been bitten out of their skin, and they're bleeding profusely. And they're crying, and you can smell the piss from where you stand. What do you guys want to do?
What's Father Clement doing right now? Is he still just rolling around, or did he die, or what?
He's kind of twitching. He's not dead yet. Still bleeding out. But he's obviously too weak to do more than try and crawl out of his own puddle of blood and holy water, which is what he's trying to do, and kind of failing.
The people who ran out, those 2 crazy guys, did they startle the swordsman who had attacked Nicholas? Is he paying attention to them, or is he...
Well, he slipped and fell on the floor.
Yeah.
I would like to ready an action, and that if they're just running in terror to try to escape, I don't want to attack them, but I would like to be ready to attack if they attempt to engage.
Okay. Well, let's go back to Catherine for a second.
So I have my sword now, courtesy of Narcissa, and I guess I should be standing closer to this Nicholas and the other swordsman. Could I attack the swordsman who's on the ground?
That's so mean. Of course you can. Go ahead and roll. That reminds me to look something up while you're doing that.
It's 12. It's 16.
16? Oh, that's
Yeah.
definitely a hit. So go ahead and roll your damage. And I'm trying to remember if this system has something on attacking prone people. David, do you remember?
There. I don't know if he would count. I think the rule is for people who are like asleep or passed out.
Okay, that's where the distinction between running too many systems starts to get blurry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I glanced through the rules last night before I.
I think you're right. I think they have to be like seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
No,
So
yeah.
let's just do regular damage.
It's 4.
So this guy has not yet been touched. He's on the ground. So whenever you cut at him, he raises his arm to block himself, and you take off at least 3 fingers. You're pretty sure.
I'm gonna keep those fingers.
Does Catherine have a secret stash of finger bones? Do we need to worry about her?
There's a nice
Very-
little necklace of them.
Very tasty.
I'm traveling with these people to try and save their souls, evidently.
Obviously, that's the only reason clerics are in parties, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that was Catherine. Nicholas, as the guys get closer, the screaming madmen, you can tell that all they're looking at is the door.
Okay.
They don't even see you.
Then I will let them pass. I'm not going to impede them.
Okay. Do you want to do anything about the guy on the floor or the other one who turns and sprays you with blood from his sucking chest wound that you inflicted on him?
Do they appear to be... Do what now?
He said to grab their fingers, but yes. I mean, you've got the 2 foes there. You have these other 2 screaming guys who are running past you, paying you no mind. And now you hear this whistling noise coming from the gate.
Oh boy.
I can come back. Let's check in on Sansar. What do you want to do?
Well, there was a bell, so there must be a belfry. Yes?
Uh-huh.
Well, if I'm still visible, I want to climb to the belfry.
Okay. Now, what you've seen so far is there are stairs going down with the gate, and then the crossbowmen were up in the choir loft.
Mm-hmm.
So the only stairs you've seen are the ones to the left that Teresa's next to, praying loudly. She has a bit of blood on her from the one guard, too. But you can go up those stairs to the choir loft.
Yeah, that's fine. I will do that. Well, no, I don't want to go to the choir loft. I want to go to the other stairs, the one next to Teresa then.
Those are the same stairs. There's only one.
Same stairs. So if I go up to the stairs, there are 2 crossbowmen up there, or were?
Uh-huh. You think?
Well, at least they can't see me. That's all right.
So, do these guys... Sorry, I dropped out there for a second.
Oh, it's
Lost
okay.
my connection. That while they shot at us, they don't seem to be... I wonder how much of this we've brought upon ourselves at this point, and wondering if it's too late to parlay or...
Yes.
In my
Okay.
defense, they shot arrows at us first.
Sure. I'm just wondering...
They did this.
Sure, but if for whatever reason swamp people coming into the church and acting funny, I'm thinking that these people might be a little just twitchy, but
Just a little.
no, I don't actually want to kill anybody right now. If I can disengage, I'll go out to the door with the party out there.
Okay. You can disengage, and in fact, the one who had slipped and fallen and now has lost part of his his hand. He's rocking back and forth on the floor, and he is spouting some of the foulest shit you have ever heard. He is talking about your mother, your grandmother's sister. He would like to discuss your father's sexual habits with farm animals, and the one with the bleeding out of their chest is kind of pulling on their arm, going, "We should go. I don't feel good. I think we should go." And he's trying to pull his other friend towards the door.
I'm going to leave them alone and go to the door. And quite frankly, nothing they've said about my family isn't anything I haven't already said myself. So
What?
Yeah.
Present
company excluded.
It's a good thing he doesn't know you two are related. Yeah.
Is Nico gonna make it before the guys who are sprinting out?
They're already out and gone.
Oh crap! I was gonna okay. Yeah, I'd have let them go. Are they? I take a quick glance. Are they running back to the village, or are they just like
straight down the road?
woods?
They're actually hightailing it north out of the village. They're following the road. Even though it seems like maybe they're kind of weaving, and they're still screaming while they're running. They're kind of weaving, and occasionally they go off the road and run through the bushes, and then they'll come back onto it. So they're very much running blind.
I'm pretty motivated. Okay, as Nico comes out, I'm gonna we still have at least 2 party members in there. I'm gonna ready again for any enemies who try and flee the church to club them down. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're ready.
Yeah.
Sansar, up in the choir loft, there's the 2 other crossbowmen. Now you can hear them talking, and they're like, "Oh shit, we need to get out of here," and they start running for the stairs.
I will cast charm on the one in the back.
Okay, to do that, you're totally visible now.
Yeah.
Let's see if the one in front notices you in his haste to get the hell out of here. And he does not.
Oh, very good.
He's focused. He's like, my skin, this is what matters. So the first one, he runs downstairs. Now, while you're out there and looking around, you did see that there is a ladder leading up into what you assume is the belfry.
Mm-hmm.
As well. But you can cast charm on this dude. And let's see here. So he stops and turns around and looks at you. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't see you there."
Quiet. Let him go.
Okay. And he just stares at you with these like big cow eyes. Like, yeah. He is totally into you. Keeps kind of looking you up and down. He's like, "Yeah. We should be quiet up here."
We should, but we should also get out of this place. How do you think we should do that?
Well, and he kind of looks around. So, like, I think the front door is the only way out unless you want to break a window.
If we go down there, then I think some of your more boisterous companions may attempt to stop us. Do you think the window is possible?
Yeah, I have rope. I could lower you. But I don't... And he looks towards the front of the church again. I don't think anyone else is coming out of that. I knew this was a bad idea.
What exactly is happening?
So my brother, Zachary, he knows this guy who knows this other guy who got us this job.
I see. So you are mercenaries.
Yeah, and there was this guy. He could like make stuff come out of his hands, like light. Like he's like the real deal. And so Zachary and I were like, hey, he's gonna give us some money, and he promised no one would get hurt, and he just like wants this thing from the bottom of this church, and like no big deal, right?
Why don't we wait here, and if someone comes up the stairs, we'll break the window.
Okay, you seem like a smart guy. I think that sounds like a good idea. And he will just stand there staring at you until you talk to him again.
Yeah, good.
So back downstairs.
Let me know when this other guy tries to come out the door. I'm wound up, ready to go.
Well, the first two guys have run out. The wounded one is trying to get his friend out, who is now moving towards the door because he's like, that fucker took my fingers. That motherfucker took my fingers! And he's obviously very upset. So they are headed towards the door. Catherine, are you doing anything in particular?
I would like to try to get out of the church before whatever is whistling through that gate comes out of that gate.
That's the kind of instinct that will keep you alive in Lamentations. So you move towards the door.
Yeah. Would it be possible to get on the other side of the door across from Narcissa?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
please don't hit me on my way out, Narcissa.
do you look before you hit, or do you just hit at the first sign of...
I will look before I hit.
That is so disappointing. All right. So the two of you...
to an opportunity.
Well, you've got the Three Stooges guys who keep slipping in blood and who are missing fingers. They're right behind you coming out of the door. So the one who comes out first is the one with the wound in his chest, who somehow is still upright and is wavering, and he's pulling on his friend. But he walks out first with his friend right behind him.
All right, I'm gonna bamf him.
Okay.
I am terrible at melee combat. I think that is a 10.
That's an 11, right?
Yeah, but I'm at -1, so I have 7 strength.
Gotcha. I suddenly have weird echo issues. Oh, now it's gone. Cool. So you got an 11. You swing and miss.
Hold that build up.
Sad. I know. But what happens, the reason you miss, is, so the first guy in the front with the sucking chest wound, he actually falls to his knees right as you swing, so your mace embeds into the door. But he doesn't even notice you. He's looking down at himself, and he actually puts his fingers inside the sword wound. And then he takes them out, looks at the blood, and he's like, I don't think that's right. But so next after we have angry fingerless dude who is now ranting about all of the goats your family must have fucked to get this fucked up, and how he hates you, and he will track down every single fucking one of you. And as he talks, he's waving his hand, but he has the other hand like clamped over where the fingers are missing. So there's still blood spurting, but he's like, ah! But that also means he doesn't actually have a weapon in his hand, which he doesn't seem to be cognizant of.
I like this guy. I want to be on his side. He's committed to his perspective.
Go finish him off. Put him out of his misery. He's got nothing but gangrene ahead of him at this point.
I don't know.
Probably.
It'd be really funny for him to show up at the house one day, many years from now.
You took my fingers! Nah. Yeah. It's totally up to you guys. If you would like to attack him, just let me know.
Could I attack him, or am I done
yeah.
for this round? Yeah, I'll attack him.
Oh, wait. Let's see.
I think
Because you moved outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, though, if Nicholas wants to, he can.
Okay. Yeah, what the heck?
Because he's coming for your head.
Right, and so if I'm already outside, does this count as a sneak attack at all? Or am I not positioned to be able to surprise him in the same way that
You
my
are a specialist.
I am, and I
So
am well. It looks like a bunch of my points are in sneak attack.
you would totally set yourself up so you could sneak attack this bad man who is bad mouthing your entire family. I mean, he is saying terrible, terrible things.
Yeah, then let us sneak attack if we may.
Yes. So to do a sneak attack, you get a +2 bonus to hit above any other bonuses you already have.
Okay. I roll a 15, and so 16 plus 2, 18.
You make a hit, and then for every point in the skill, your damage multiplier is increased by 1.
Okay, so I have 5 points in sneak attack according to my character sheet, which is why I was so inclined. Okay, so D8, and so do I roll
Royal
5
assassin.
D8, or are we just rolling D8 and multiplying by 5?
The damage multiplier is increased by 1. So yeah, roll 1 and then you multiply by 5.
I rolled a 7.
Would you like to tell us how you obliterate this guy, or would you like me to?
Well, with the scimitar, I'm going to. I know someone said that they were very fond of fountains and that, so let's go for the neck fountain that I will decapitate.
All right. So Nicholas is positioned in such a way that as the missing finger guy staggers out ranting, his mouth continues moving, just like in the movies. And you guys didn't even see the blow, but suddenly his mouth's still working, but there's no sound, and his head slides off his neck, and it lands with a splat in front of his friend who's digging at his own wound, who stares at it. And it landed so that the eyes are looking up at him, and he's staring at it. And then, so the body behind it, there is the neck fountain everywhere. You are all covered in blood. And it actually staggers and kind of slumps forward and falls onto the guy kneeling on the ground, who shrieks. And so there's this big pile of like corpse, mainly dead guy on top of head, and there's squirming and blood and a lot of cussing. So well done.
Thank you. And as a free action, if I may,
Yes?
do not fuck with us.
Yes. So you guys have actually, so you've pretty much completed that, and everyone except for Sansar is standing outside the church. You now all hear whistling coming from inside the church.
Is this like a tune, or like when an old person talks?
It is described as a weird, flatulent whistling. So it's not a tune. It's not music. It's like wheezing, air pushed out of orifices, kind of atonal whistling. Like a lot of orifices.
But it's not intermittent. It's a constant thing.
It's pretty constant.
Okay.
And it's getting louder.
I'm going to grab the guy with the sucking chest wound who's just barely still alive. I pull him close by the collar, if there's no collar, by the chest wound. And I'm like, what's going on in there? Why did you attack us?
And he kind of, because he's barely alive.
Yeah.
He paws back at you and says, "The fucking magic user lied to us."
About
And
what?
then he
What-
slumps forward. Oh, it's too late, man. That's all he said. Fucking magic user. Fucking fuck.
My friend, I put my hand on the shoulder of the crossbowman. What was your name again?
Oh, actually, what I was going to suggest is after he says the fucking magic user lied to us, let's take a 5-minute break, not to de-escalate the tension and the action here, but to leave you wondering about what the hell's whistling and what the magic user did. So I can get some water. Your GM is parched.
Very well.
So
Good
5
deal.
minutes, and then
Hydrate yourself.
Yes, we'll come back and figure out, Sansor, you will bond with your new charmed friend, which is totally not weird
No,
or
not at all.
anything.
It's
Totally not.
perfectly natural.
You're magically roofied friend. Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be back in 5.
Cool. keep turning this way. Keep that dirty laundry. Like,
I meant to clean off my desk a little bit, but
I am really glad the camera projects directly across my desk instead of down onto it, because it's another mess.
well, you can't see this side of my room. Like, no one ever thinks about the fact they can't see over here.
Yeah.
Which is mainly knitting and books.
Well, that's not too bad. That's good. Knitting and books are about. It's more like when it's like some dirty dishes and like I have like a half-open carton of cigarettes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, this is my office, so I get to hide the rest of my apartment.
Ah, nice.
Let's see. Okay.
Dave's little icon thing makes him look like he is like he physically is doing the last thing he was actually doing in the game.
It's true.
That is a good point. It does in fact look like that.
Like when I first saw it, I thought he had just spent the whole time that we were fighting looking for a picture to change for like comedic effect or whatever.
That would be fantastic.
Time well spent.
One of my friends, when she's GMing, she will put up pictures of NPCs, and on occasion it's stuff like a cat in a top hat. So there are times for that.
Mm-hmm. I use real-time board, if you guys know it. It's like a digital whiteboard collaborative planning thing, and I just dump like tons and tons of pictures of NPCs there, put a little tag on them, and it's just like, okay, scroll over here, here's what this person looks like, on to the next one, and we get like, it's really handy for that sort of stuff.
All right. I think everybody's back, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Cecil's just hiding back there.
I'm here. Sorry, I had to move my desk into here to play today because normally my desk is in my dining room, and I have a 3-year-old daughter. She's got a friend over, and it's dining room's not really the place to be doing this. So.
I'm amazed you haven't been interrupted a dozen times.
My wife, she's on the ball. She's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I too am taking advantage of marital capital and nap time for our 3-year-old. So
Yeah, my daughter is down for her nap right now, which is nice. She's loud. She's a loud person.
Well, that's totally cool, and would not be the first time one of our games. There was one game where it would end. We had to, at the end of every game, we had to say goodnight to one of the players' daughters.
That's
because she would ask. It was the most adorable thing.
In my regular game, there's a couple who plays, and their daughter is constantly, wanting to become part of it. She's 3, so she loves being on camera.
So before we get back into it, I just want to check in. Is everybody happy? Any concerns? Anybody need anything?
No, I'm good.
I'm concerned about whatever was pockmarking people's faces in the basement, but
Well, character-wise is one thing. I meant player-wise.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
Okay.
It's all good.
I do feel I'm doing something wrong because we have an hour left and no one's dead. Not for lack of trying, though. Just those crossbowmen, they were rolling like shit. So maybe that'll change. But I did just want to check in, and if everybody's good, we will continue.
Real quick, did Father Clement, did he ever die of slit throat, or is he still in there trying to lap up the holy water that was splashed onto the floor?
I find your interest in his state of death very interesting, and I'm going to say he's still alive.
Motherfucker.
Well, when I come down the stairs, if he's still alive, I'll drag him out by the hair if you want.
Yes,
Take
let's
his fingers
interrogate.
too.
So whenever we left off, there had just been the unhelpful sucking chest wound guy who said the magic user screwed them over. Now upstairs, Sansar was just about to talk to his new friend.
I think we should go.
Yeah.
It's how high is the choir loft above ground level?
It is, I want to say 10 feet.
Oh, yeah, I'll just go out the window. That's fine. We don't need a rope.
Yeah, 10 feet sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to break one of the narrow Gothic windows and go out it?
Yeah, if breaking it's the only way, sure.
Yeah, they don't open. And so you break the window. Are you going to bring your new friend with you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, you'll have to go and drag out the priest yourself.
You both jump down without any issues, and that disturbing whistling sound is getting really loud.
Okay. The question, I guess, is: do I need to cast detect evil here, or are we pretty sure that?
It's your call, man. If you would like to cast it, you may.
I'm pretty sure that that's a supernatural evil thing. How's Teresa taking all of this so far? I'm gonna glance back.
Oh, that's right. So she is still inside. You guys left her inside.
Yeah.
She has basically screamed herself hoarse, and she's sitting there staring into the church, like towards where the whistling sound is coming from, and she's mouthing, but no sound is actually coming out. And she's covered in other people's blood.
It's still dark, or I take it it's now fully dark outside?
It is indeed fully dark. You don't, as you look around outside, and all the cottages around you are lit with people staring through the window, you do realize you don't hear any birds. No insects. Nothing. It's very still.
And no sounds coming from that graveyard?
You can go check, preferably by yourself.
No thanks.
Maybe with one stubby candle that goes out a lot.
Right.
It's always an option.
Okay. Father Bradley, we know that they probably did something to him. Let's check the rectory. If somebody wants to pull Teresa out of there, they're welcome to, but I'm making a beeline for the rectory if I can.
I've never really liked Teresa. I'm not getting her. She's gonna make a great distraction for the whistling orifice monster. And now that our magic user isn't in there anymore, I feel comfortable with all of us leaving.
If I can quickly rejoin the rest of the party without incident, I will do so with my arm around my new companion.
Who smiles at you at every chance he gets.
Friends, let me introduce you to this man.
He smiles. My name's Thomas. Hi. He seems,
Thomas made a mistake earlier, but he's feeling much better now.
He nods, and you can all see his eyes are glazed over, and he's smiling like a little too big.
Thomas, could you tell my friends what you told me about why you were here?
So Zach and my new guy who knew a guy who knew this other guy who could do all this really cool stuff and make light come out of his hands, and he was like the real deal, and not like Granny Abigail who lives down the lane who keeps saying that she's like magic, but all she really does is pull like rabbit parts out from underneath her skirt, and that's really kind of gross, and I'm not really sure what that's about. And if any of you guys could, I mean, and some of you ladies, because maybe ladies would know more about that, and he will keep talking unless you do something. Maybe some of you ladies might know more about like why a rabbit parts would come out of a lady's parts, because that's not exactly how I thought it worked. But Mother Abigail says that it's natural.
No one really knows, friend. What happened to Therese?
We pretty much just shut the door on her. If you want to go get her.
Oh.
Narcissa and I were going to go check out the rectory.
Yeah.
I will follow, because if the lawful sibling isn't going to save our friend and the chaotic sibling.
Thomas, could you go, there's a young woman in there. Could you go retrieve her, please?
Now we can discuss Lamentations alignments at length another time. You guys are free to do whatever you want. The alignment is more like what's attracted to you in the universe rather than what you do.
Okay.
The attitude I'm taking is Father Bradley may also be in danger, and I suspect he's in the rectory. Or if he's not there, I'd like to know, because he might be down below. And that's nothing's threatening Teresa directly at this very moment.
So as
I told these guys to get her.
Sorry, what was that last bit?
And I told these guys to get her.
Yeah, that's true. So as you get ready to walk towards the rectory, and whenever Sansar tells Thomas to go inside, Thomas is like, well, of course, but I mean, Utaric and the other guys, they might get her on their way out.
If you say
screaming
so.
Guys that
No.
already left?
Oh no, well, actually, one of those was Zachary, and I am totally gonna never let him live that down. But no, the other guys are still downstairs. I mean, that's why we're here, you know?
And why is that again? Remind me, because I lost that. Why are we here again?
Oh, well, the guy who knows the guy that Zachary knew, who makes the light come out of his eyes, he's Utaric, and he hired us to come help him get this relic from this church. That's why we're here.
A relic.
Oh, and the priest isn't in the rectory. We killed him.
I just throw my hands up.
Thomas just smiles at you.
That was a very bad thing to have done. Don't do that again.
I feel like this is all Teresa's fault.
Oh.
We were, if she hadn't gotten hurt in the swamp, we would never be this silly church situation.
Okay, that was just evil.
Catherine hates churches.
Thomas.
Apparently.
Thomas, you've done some very bad things, and I need you to confess them to me. What was the relic you were looking for?
Oh, I don't really know. I mean, Utaric, like, he used a lot of really big words. I think he was like educated. I think I saw him reading from a book once.
Where's the book? Did he take it with him?
Oh yeah. He got like really mad whenever I tried to touch it. He said that it was full of demons and they would take my soul if I touched it again.
He was probably right. Do we want to go down into the church, or do we want to...
Well, it sounds like whatever is in there is coming for us. What if we either hightail it or lay a trap?
I do have iron spikes.
So, as you guys suggest making a trap and start discussing iron spikes, there is a fresh round of screaming from inside, and it's deeper than Teresa, so you don't think it's Teresa, but it's pretty short. So there's some screaming, and you actually start hearing Teresa praying again. The whistling sound is getting louder, and you kind of hear this like wet slapping that you're pretty sure is getting closer to the door.
All right.
Are we over by the rectory now?
No, you guys are standing right in front of the church.
Do
Yeah.
we see anything we could bar the door with for now? It sounds like Teresa's okay. She's praying.
There is a scream. I'm pretty sure Teresa's now not okay.
Well, then there's nothing we can do. Is there something to bar the door?
I have a crowbar.
She really hasn't been much of a help and much more of a hindrance.
Yeah. We just wanted to get through the swamp, man.
What's around you right now is just this cleared open space surrounded by cottages. There is the graveyard to the south that has the small decorative metal fence. And then there's the rectory over to the north, but that's about it.
Okay, I'm going to head for the rectory, and I suggest everyone else come with, unless they want to be here when that thing comes through the doors.
Yeah, I concur. I want to go to the rectory, check the door for traps, and try to open it.
Okay. Somebody mentioned a crowbar. Did you want to bar the doors?
I
Yes.
will hand over the crowbar to our fighter, strong, muscle-bound friend here, and
I would like to bar the doors with that crowbar.
Okay. And then you're all going to go over to the rectory and inspect the door and everything?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make a... I know there is a distinction about this in the book about... I believe search is figuring out if there's a trap,
Mm-hmm.
and then tinkering is disabling a trap.
Okay, so I roll for search. Or do you roll for search for me?
You roll.
Okay, I have 2 points in search, so I roll a d6, and I rolled a 6.
Okay. So you check over the door, and it looks like it's not even latched. Like it's not even locked. Do you just want to open it and go inside?
Yeah.
You sounded like you didn't want to say that.
Trying very hard not to metagame this. Yeah.
Good job.
Let's do it.
All right. So you put your hand on this cold iron door handle, and you turn it, and it clicks, and the door opens, and you guys can go inside. I'm such a jerk. Oh. So.
All right. I'm gonna. Is there light in here, or it was previously unlit, right?
Right. It is dark inside. The door opens into a large room. It's got nice high ceilings. It's got big windows. What you can see in the darkness is you think there's a shape that's like a table in front of you with some chairs.
Before I go in, I'll light my lantern and just sort of cast the light over the room, holding it aloft with my hand with the mace in the other.
You see a nicely well-appointed cottage. This is obviously a combination dining room and study. There are books about a desk. There's the dining room table with some chairs, a sideboard that has like a pitcher on top of it. And there are these really nice large mullion glass windows. So they have the little like black lead X's in them. And you can close and lock the door, but there's not a barring mechanism on it if you want.
Did we successfully bar the church door?
You did. To the sounds of Teresa screaming and more of the wet slapping sound and maybe a little bit of tearing, and then she stopped screaming. So
Should be fine. Clement's in there. He's a priest.
yeah.
Okay.
And I assume you brought Thomas with you.
Oh, well, I think he may prove an unreliable ally, but for the time being, yes.
Okay.
He has a crossbow, so that's good.
Yeah. And at the moment, he's happy.
And he knows the other men who were supposed to be down here.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna ask Catherine and Sansar to look through the books and see if there's anything there that may bear on our current situation, provided both are literate. Histories of the church, anything like that you could find that might indicate what relics are stored here. Rifle the desk for like papers from Father Bradley. You said that this was the living room study, so is there like a bedroom or off to the side?
There are two doors. One of them is open.
Yeah.
And kind of peering in there, you can see a combination, kitchen and bathroom.
Got it.
And the closed door is the other door.
Okay. I gesture for Nico to join me, and I'm going to try and I'm going to check the handle, just look to make sure there's no contact poison or anything on it. I doubt there is. And then open it up.
Oh, you guys are hilarious. Well, before we get to that, so you're examining the door.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas is with you. The other two, are you starting to go through the books and stuff?
Yeah, I'm rifling through things,
Okay.
trying to find stuff.
So I would like everyone except for Nicholas to give me a search check.
De nada.
Nothing. I'm merely
No,
pretending to
fail.
look for things. I'm not the smartest person in this party.
I don't know if Thomas qualifies, but he would have failed as well.
Catherine, can you read?
I can read, but do you need me to lift heavy shit? I'm on it.
So you guys are looking through all this stuff, and you're examining the door, which, to your knowledge, it doesn't look like it's poisoned. You don't see anything suspicious. But you guys hear this commotion outside. It sounds like something has burst through the doors of the church. There's cracking of wood. The whistling sound is there again, and you can hear people beginning to scream. What would you guys like to do?
I'd like to look out one of those windows and see how close that thing is to.
Be driven permanently insane.
It's not like we're playing Trail of Cthulhu or something. Anybody else want to look outside? Stop what you're doing?
Absolutely.
All right. You're like, I'm focusing.
I'm intent on this door. Wonders lie beyond.
Which you're pretty sure is a normal door.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. The rest of you see a shambling 8-foot-tall mass standing outside the church. Light shines on the mangled flesh and internal organs of, you'd have to guess, of at least half a dozen humans. It stumbles about on elephantine legs comprised of knotted arms and bloodied meat. It has a body made of leaking stomachs, oozing pancreases, gelatinous gray matter, and cirrhotic livers. It leaves a trail of blood and fluid as it moves. Flailing tendrils of human intestines terminating in snapping sphincters lined with dead men's teeth lash about. You think the whistling's coming from that. It is in the center of town, and it's kind of stumbling around the center square. You can tell that the inhabitants are screaming inside their cottages, and if you look closely, it seems that the ones further out have left their cottages and are fleeing in terror.
Okay.
The door.
You can open the door. Do you want to open the door?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no traps. Inside is a very plain bedroom. There is a very narrow, hard bed and a wardrobe. People are screaming outside.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't want to alarm the people that can't see out the window, but you should take a look outside the window.
I'm going to rifle the wardrobe first. I'm pretty sure I know what's inside that window, and I have no desire to see it.
Okay.
Does anyone have... We have someone with a lamp. Do we have flammable oil?
Mine's in the lamp at the moment, but...
You have an extra flask, in case that wasn't clear.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
So there you go. I also have some holy water, which might be helpful.
Yeah, I'm contemplating a ridiculous flaming arrow attack with oil and holy water and any number of things on the unspeakable thing that
I
if
can add some soap if you just want to, mix it up.
right. Well,
Uh.
with soap, maybe we've got napalm, but I'm
Nico
wondering
will-
again about this 5-point modifier or on my sneak attack. But
Before
I don't know.
you get us all killed, is the pus bag monster? Does it know where we're at? Does it look like it's looking in our direction?
Well, the last time you looked outside, it was stumbling around. You're not entirely sure if it can see. It doesn't have a face. It just has these tendrils. And it was kind of like moving around the square. Maybe if it was listening, it was going towards screams, is what you'd have to guess.
See, if we had brought Teresa, she'd be screaming, and we'd be fucked.
She's really so curious. I have a quick question about holy water. I'm a cleric. How do I make holy water? Is it a long process, short?
Yes, it is a long process. It's actually, there are actual rules for making it. Let's see. Uno momento, por favor.
I found it in the book. Oh, it's like 9 days. Damn. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Not a thing you can do on the spot, sorry.
The thing I'm gonna poke my head out from like looking in the wardrobe, and I'm just gonna say, look around, see if you can find any blessed objects. They'll be useful against it. And I'm digging through the wardrobe for like an alb and like other sacral garments. I'm looking for like wafers, chalices for the Eucharist, anything that this guy might use that might be holy.
So in the wardrobe, you find several sets of very plain dark clothing.
Okay.
There is a Bible on the table next to the bed, and there is a crucifix on the wall facing the bed. That's all that's in this room.
I'm gonna take. How big is the crucifix? Is it like club-sized, or is it more?
No, it's like 4 inches tall.
Okay. I'll
Although
take,
I love the idea of him
Yeah.
having a giant fucking cross like in his bedroom, but no.
The Vikings were notorious for a guy who went around beating everyone with a cross. I'll take the Bible.
No statues of St. George with a big lance.
Yeah.
Sadly, no.
Anything out in the study that might be useful, like of similar character?
None of you made your search roll, right?
No.
No.
Okay. There's a lot of books and papers. It appears that Father Bradley was really into researching history. There was one portfolio of some rather naughty drawings that you're surprised that a priest has. But otherwise, it's just a bunch of like kind of dry historic tomes. His kitchen is similarly just like plain bread and ale and cheese. Nothing too exciting.
No bottle of holy water in the fridge?
No fridge even. Like what the hell? It appears that it appears that he may have kept all of that stuff in the church.
Okay.
Is the ale flammable?
No, it's a pretty thin, watery brown ale.
Okay.
Not a high alcohol content.
Right.
What I would suggest is the creature's not in the church anymore. If we're going to find any holy stuff that'll be good against it, it'll probably be back in the church.
Yeah,
It's
I was
also the
thinking
toughest
same thing.
building in town. May I suggest we retreat back into it?
Before we do that, I'd like to search for hidden passages from here to the church.
What is our motivation not for just for getting the hell out of this place?
Oh, the optimism. The optimism is awe-inspiring.
We're surrounded
Or-
by death swamp. Filled with
And
swamp.
And the pessimism
There's
that
a
whatever
road.
unholy evil won't just track us down and chew us to bits anyway.
Yeah.
I won't shy away from fighting the terribleness that's probably killing the villagers now. But
Lots of screams.
I'm totally okay with us maybe laying low until he moves on to the next town, and then rebuilding this town and starting over.
They're in need of a village priest, after all.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a position open over there. We just got to rebuild the door and put the pews back, and it'll be all right.
I don't know. Unless you guys don't want to, I'm tempted to go back into the church and start hunting around for holy stuff, and also to look underneath. Like, that crypt is now open. We know that the monster specifically isn't there, so maybe there's a key to like what created it down there.
We know that monster isn't still down there.
Listen, if you can't beat him, join him. I'm gonna go look at the holy relics.
Sure.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Narcissa is going into the church. Are the rest of you? It sounds like the rest of you are going with her.
Are we sneaking in, or are we just brazenly like?
Well,
If we
no secret passages from. Okay.
It's a good idea, and I do admire your optimism, but no.
uh,
I had to try.
Actually, are there any priest holes that we can discover
Priest
with
hole?
with the architecture? Priest holes, that's a real thing!
It definitely.
But in his rectory, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't know, maybe he's a weirdo. That's... We've already established that as a likely scenario.
I will allow you guys to make an architecture check.
All right.
I make no guarantees.
No.
I rolled a 4.
No.
All right. Church.
3. Yeah,
Church it is.
I agree with the church. I would just like to decide how we're going to go over there first. Like, do we want to wait for the monster to be in a position where it won't hear us tiptoeing over there, or are we going to run?
I figure the more people screaming, the better covered we are. So let's head over there while the owls are still going on, and like not run, but like just sort of, you know, not even sneak, just like walk as quickly and quietly as we can.
Agreed.
Sure.
Oh, all right. So you guys are going to be quick and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So you open up the door, and you see now, in the time that you've been looking and discussing stuff, that at least 3 buildings are on fire. And silhouetted against it is the beast itself. It appears to have hold of a man, or at least part of a man. Part of his body is missing, and you don't see it anywhere convenient. There is 2 other people, one of which with a pitchfork and another one with a torch, who are probably about 5 seconds from dropping their weapons and running. You can see people fleeing in the distance, and there is a lot of blood spattered across the ground. Screaming, whistling, and you smell this like mixture of human sewage and fear and smoke. So good job, guys. I'm glad you came to this town. Let's see.
That's not my fault. I'm okay, so I don't want to waste any time once we're inside the church. If the doors can be barred from the inside, if they're still intact enough, I suggest we do that. Otherwise, just head down into the crypt.
So as you walk up to the church, the thing does seem intent on eating the man that he's holding, while the 2 people kind of watch at this point. So as you go up to the church, you find that the doors have been burst outwards. Your crowbar is laying there if you want to pick that back up.
Yes.
And but the doors are essentially splinters now. It looks like the creature just rammed into it full force and went through it. So you can go back inside the church.
Okay, so inside the church there was an iron gate blocking the crypt. Does it lock or latch in any way?
It would have, except it appears that the creature, whenever it came through it, it actually bent it in order to get its bulk through. So the doors don't quite close anymore.
Got it.
So are we in the church now?
Yeah.
Sorry, my daughter walked in and got distracted. Is
No
Father
problem.
Clement still in there?
So whenever you walk into the church, you're treated to shreds of human flesh and blood everywhere because it appears that the creature took Father Clement and Teresa and tore them to bits and then rolled around in it like a happy little puppy. Yeah. So there's not a lot left in there that's not covered in blood and the insides of humans.
Yeesh. All right, down into the scary crypt, everyone.
Yeah. Do we? Someone want to light a lantern or a torch?
Mine's lit, so.
Okay. I'll go down the stairs first.
Okay. Let us go into the crypt.
This is where mapping's going to be useful for whoever's doing mapping.
Actually, I have candles, and I'm going to cut my. Let me see how many of them do I have? I have.
You should have 5.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I can cut them into smaller candles. It
Yeah.
won't matter. So I'll cut each one into 3 pieces. So I have 15 small candles, and every time we come to an intersection, I will put a candle there, with a little trail of wax leading in the direction that we take.
Very smart. Bonus, man.
Nice.
All right.
This isn't my first rodeo.
I would be interested to hear how Sansar, has come upon this knowledge.
Oh yes, it's in my book that I read sometimes.
Yeah. So Sansar does have a book that he occasionally reads to you guys from.
Right. Yes. With the provocative title, "A History of Wolves and Girls."
So
no author given.
No. So as you guys walk into, thank you, David. Oh my God, I owe you. As you guys walk into the darkness below the altar, this one phrase keeps repeating in your head, Sansar. For some reason, you've got the phrase, "Some wolves are hairy on the inside," stuck in your head. You don't know why. It's creeping you out, though.
Earworm.
That's right. All right. Beneath the church, the crypt you're entering has low 6-foot-high ceilings, which means, Sansar, you actually have to crouch a little bit because you're a pretty tall dude. 24 bunk bed style crypts, almost like beds, are carved into the corridor. So there is a middle passageway, and it's lined by these double-decker beds where you would put the coffins and the remains of the dearly departed. Normally. However, right now, that hallway is covered with the shredded remains of a couple of people. Their corpses have been torn about and gutted like pumpkins.
So we can roast their seeds.
If you want to try it, we will have an interesting time. Now, the carnage, there is a rather distinct trail leading towards where you're coming from. So the creature had obviously walked through this to get out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. Does that sort of give us an obvious direction of travel if we follow against the blood?
Yeah. So, let's see. Looking at my map.
Mm-hmm.
So you come down, and you're pretty much confronted immediately with this carnage. As you look ahead of you, there is a corridor going straight, and then there's a corridor to the right and left. However, at the end of the hallway, you think you see a little bit more blood down there. It's kind of hard to see because you are, allow me to count squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 50 feet. No, that's 5 feet. So you're about 40 feet to the end of the corridor. So in the light of your lantern and everything, you can kind of see something down there.
Hmm.
Is it the same for the left and right passages?
If you walk through the bloody human that is carpeting the floor and look, you can see that the corridor to the right and the left extends a couple of feet, and then you can see that it intersects again.
Hmm.
Which intersects, the right or the left, or both?
They both do, and it runs parallel to the thing you're seeing in.
I got a lot of buzzing there. Sorry, not sure what happened.
Yeah, I did too. Are the intersections T intersections or four-way intersections?
They are three-way intersections.
Oh, you're really breaking up, Sarah.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Hmm. Do you guys want to follow the blood, or?
Any better?
Yep.
Yes.
Much.
Awesome.
Well,
So,
my thought is that following the blood doesn't make sense because if the creature was trapped down here, presumably there's no other way out.
Well, we're not really looking for a way out. We're looking for weapons with which to fight.
Speak for yourself, but okay, fine.
so what you can see as you stand in this main corridor is there are other corridors branching off, but what catches your attention is about 40 feet ahead of you is a door that's hanging open. It looks like it's been possibly forced open. Do you guys want to go forward and investigate?
Yep.
This is the corridor that's directly in front of us, not off one of the left or right.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. As you get closer, you can see that the door had a lock on it that was filed off, and there are flakes of rust and iron all over the flagstones in front of it.
Fucking
Beyond
amateurs.
beyond it, you can see even from the hallway is a small 10-foot by 10-foot crypt.
Is there any design on the door, or any markings, or writing of any sort?
Yes. There is a picture carved into the stone of a kite, like a bird.
Hmm. Hmm.
Does that have any symbolic significance of which I'm aware?
You think you remember seeing something like that on some of the history books in the priest's chamber.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I recall any titles?
Mm-mm.
Well, this would seem to be where our large, oozy friend has come from.
I'm gonna take shine the lantern down into the crypt beyond the door. Not go into it, but just sort of like stand at the threshold and light it. What do we
Okay.
see?
So there is a carved stone sarcophagus with a lid topped with a marble effigy of a soldier in repose. It's in the center of the floor. The lid is askew. You can see that there is a shield on the top of the crypt that also has that red bird on it again. And there's some fabric on the floor. So the crypt is open. There's nothing else in the room. Oh, I take that back. Except for 3 freshly slain human men. 2 wear leather armor, and the third is in wizard's robes.
Don't look,
They
Thomas. Don't
are-
look.
They are all dead, and they all have numerous small bite wounds, and their throats have been torn out.
I'd like to ask Thomas if that is Utaric. Is that his name?
He looks at Sansar for permission because Sansar told him not to look.
Just look at the man's manner of footwear and see if you recognize it.
He kind of peers around and he says, "Yep, that's Utarik, and that's John, and that's Ekaziah. Yeah."
Oh boy. Okay. Sansar, do you want to take a look at Utarik's body, see if you can find any sort of clues as to what they were planning to do down here, what relics?
Yeah, I'll give a little. I mean, I'm not gonna dig too deeply into his, into his person, but I'll give him a little pat down to see if I find anything.
Catherine, do you want to take a look at the shield, and Nico, the fabric, and I'll look in the sarcophagus itself?
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So when you guys search the bodies, you find I need dice, which is good for you guys. You find 2 copper pieces.
Woo!
They can cover our eyes when we are dead.
On each man, and 5 silver pieces. Each of them have a short sword and a dagger. Utarik has a blank scroll tucked in its belt, a dagger, 34 coppers, and 24 silver. A blood-soaked sack next to the bodies contains 32 copper, 27 silver, and a pair of silver candlesticks. In addition, there is a crystalline bell fashioned from a large, painstakingly cut garnet. A number of small etchings run along the bell's lip, and a close examination of the carvings. Forget I just read that part. So it is on the floor next to Utarik's hand. And
Does
that
he
is
have any?
everything you find.
So he doesn't have a quill or chalk or anything.
No.
But he has a blank scroll.
Yeah.
Well, that's strange. Maybe it had something on it. Is there any signs that it at one point had writing? Any indentations?
Well, you know, as a magic user, that if it was a spell that disappeared from a scroll after it was used up, it would not leave a trace on there. So what you're looking at
I'll buy that.
is what appears to be a fresh sheet of parchment. And as you guys are shuffling around the dead bodies, I believe, was Catherine looking over the crypt?
I was looking at the shield, and Narcissa was looking at the sarcophagus.
Okay. So inside the crypt is the desiccated corpse of a human man dressed in rusted plate armor. A similarly corded longsword is in one hand, and the other one has been flung open, like someone took something from that. So the shield itself just has the red bird perched atop a solitary watchtower with a fire burning in the tower's upper window.
The longsword that he's holding, if I pick it up and sort of brush some of the dust and stuff off of it, does it look like it's engraved with like a red kite symbol as well?
In the pommel, yes.
All right, I pass that to Catherine.
Is this longsword in any kind of usable condition? Did you say it was
no.
rusted? Yeah.
It's totally rusted out, yeah.
I'm not going to take this with us, man. That's what I did.
If we had a convenient crucible, we could melt down the silver into,
So while you're doing this, let's see. Everyone seems pretty occupied, right? Except for Narcissa. What are you doing?
Well, I was poking through the sarcophagus.
Okay.
But I'll happily look up at an opportune moment.
Well, let's say that Sansar, since you were looking through bodies, you do hear a whistling sound.
I'm afraid our friend has found us, or at least wandered in our direction. Pocket what you can, and let's move on.
Yep.
The cloth on the floor, was there anything in that?
Whenever you look through it, it appears that it probably was part of what the man was wearing, and someone just ripped part of his shirt in their haste to move the body about.
Okay. I would like to take some of that cloth and wrap it around behind the head of one of my arrows in preparation for whatever may be coming in the not-too-distant future.
I
And-
mean, it's like we only have 15 minutes left. I mean,
All right. We skedaddle. Does everybody agree?
Yeah, we have to go down the hallway before we can go anywhere else.
Well, no, I believe that it was established that there were other passages. They just
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
all right. So you guys are getting ready to leave. You're in that crypt at the end of the hallway. Are you taking your standard marching order in order to come back out?
Yeah, I'll take point.
Okay. So Catherine is the first one to see that the monstrosity from above has indeed come back downstairs looking for more snacks. It's like, hey guys. And it's standing amid the shredded human remains you found at that intersection, whistling, waving its tentacles, and it is totally blocking the way out.
It's blocking the other two sides of the intersection.
Yeah. You guys are pinned in that hallway and that crypt. And when it sees you, Catherine, the whistling gets higher and louder, and the mass of the thing seems to, like, shudder.
I guess I'm going to attack it with my short sword. Unless someone maybe behind me wants to shoot an arrow at it first.
Yeah.
I think it's time for initiative.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, let us roll initiative. Where is my good black die? All right. Who's rolling initiative for you guys?
I did it last time, so if somebody else wants to, they're welcome to.
I'll do
I
it.
got it. Oh, no,
Wait, you
go
got
ahead.
it.
No, go ahead.
Okay. 5.
All right, you guys have the drop on it. It's too busy thinking about all the different ways it's going to eat you.
Does this creature appear to have? Does it appear to favor some part of it on its body that might be a weakness?
Not that you can tell, man.
Okay, I'm just gonna attack it.
Gotta
I
use
mean,
VATS. Gotta
it's
use VATS to highlight the.
Organs on the outside of its body. Like, you can't really get in the mind of that thing. So yeah, attacking it is fantastic. Roll me your d20 with your melee bonus. And then we'll go down the line, figure out what everyone's doing.
22.
That, sir, is a hit. Roll your damage. I might need a calculator. Woohoo, you guys aren't going to die right away.
It's my d6. I do 2 damage.
Oh, such a letdown. Oh. All right. So Catherine springs into action, slicing with her sword, but it is confusing about where to hit exactly, so you seem to just kind of nick it. Nicholas.
I would like to light an arrow on fire and try to light this thing on fire.
Let it be done. Go ahead and roll an attack roll for me using your ranged bonus. And
Okay.
if you hit, we'll say the arrow does not go out before it hits the thing.
I rolled a 3 with a ranged bonus of 3, so that's a 6.
Yeah, at least you did not shoot yourself.
There is that.
Small victories.
Your arrow goes wide and it goes out.
And the whistling turns to yakety sax.
And Sansar, what would you like to do?
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Oh, do I have the bell? I don't think I do.
Oh,
You did not-
who took?
No one mentioned picking it up.
Yeah, we suck.
I mean, I did tell people to, fill their pockets, but I guess.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's pause, rewind. Who took what?
I was given the longsword that I did not take. This is.
Yeah.
Who's the one who found the bell? Who found where the bell was found?
Sansar did.
Yeah.
It was next to the priest.
Well, I wouldn't have left it, but I guess in the panic I might have. So it's up to you.
No, I'm cool with going back, and you guys can grab whatever you want. Silver, copper. Sansar has the bell.
The other
bell's going to do anything, but I only have a staff, so
who has the red shield with the other one?
The shivering of my body might be enough to ring the bell.
So whenever you picked up the bell, it chimed unearthly loud.
Overwhelm the creature, just clack, clack, clack.
Okay. Are you cool with that?
Does it have a what do you call it?
A knocker?
A clapper?
Whatever it is.
Yes, it
or
does.
You have to actually hit it with something. Okay, yeah, well, I'll ring the bell.
Ding, ding, ding. Sansar is ringing the bell. Nicholas?
I shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Narciso, what are you doing?
I'm going to set the lantern down on the ground so that it still lights these guys up, and I'm going to run back to the sarcophagus if I can.
Sure.
There's Thomas with his crossbow.
Would you mind rolling for him?
Yeah, sure. I don't know what his bonus is, but roll is 8,
+1.
so probably not enough.
Okay.
If I can, I'm going to grab out my holy water from my pack while I move.
Okay. You can do that. Now, in the meantime, it is the creature's turn, and it has enough fun for everybody. All right, we have 3 hits. So that is Catherine, Nicholas, and Sansar. All 3 of you get hit by the little snappy tentacle mouths. Catherine 5, Nicholas 5, and Sansar takes 6. And those little teeth, man, they dig into your flesh and they actually pull out little plugs of your skin and meat, and you start bleeding.
That's how I always wanted to go.
And it whistles, and it flails its little tentacles like it's very happy. So, we're at the top of the round. And no, the bell hasn't seemed to do anything yet.
I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack the tentacle beast again and hope that my compatriot with the bell keeps ringing it at least 4 times, if not more. And hopefully I don't die before he gets through that.
Okay. So go ahead and roll an attack roll.
I rolled a 1.
So Lamentations doesn't do critical fumbles, which I think is sad, because I would have loved to have done something to you right then.
Yeah.
But you once again, you slice the tentacle, and it pulls it out of reach right in time.
Okay.
Nicholas, what would you like to do?
So I take it I'm in melee range now that I've been...
Oh, yeah. It just keeps getting closer.
Okay.
It's like, hi.
And no way at this point that we've engaged that I can try to use a sneak attack of some sort, I take it.
No, it's kind of filling the corridor ahead of you.
All right. Then scimitar it is. And I rolled a 15, base attack bonus 1, so 16.
That is a hit.
All right. So D8, 2 damage.
You guys are like whittling away at this thing.
Ever so, a single small cut, right?
Yeah. Sansar, what are you up to? Ringing the bell?
I guess so. I don't think it's going to do anything.
It might.
I will sort of step behind Thomas as I'm doing that.
One of these days, Thomas is going to wake up from his charm spell.
As long as it's not today.
So why don't you go ahead and roll for Thomas's attack?
Yeah. 13, including the +1.
That is a hit. His damage is a d6.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad. 6.
7 points of damage. He is rocking and rolling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thomas is more useful than Teresa, and we didn't let him die. I think we made the right decision.
So, Narcissa, tell me what you're doing back there in the room behind your friends.
I look at the body and the sarcophagus. I have the holy water out. I rip the cork out, and I'm going to try and pour it on the corpse, the one in the sarcophagus that I presume the thing came from. And I just utter a prayer aloud in desperation as I do so.
So are you trying to bless? Or...
Basically, yeah. I'm trying to dump the whole. I'm trying to figure out if dumping the holy water on the corpse while muttering prayers will do anything here.
Okay.
Sis, the monster's that way.
Yeah.
Well, you dump the holy water on the corpse, and you pray, and you wait, and the corpse is just wet.
Would I be able to dump the holy water and I'm not sure what the effects of the bless spell are outside of adding dice to rolls. Is it the kind of thing where blessing this corpse would be meaningful?
I want to say no. Let me see here. Yeah, that's a no.
Okay. So yeah, then I'll dump the holy water on it to see if it does anything.
Okay. You pray your little heart out, Narcissa.
Yeah.
Because it's mathematically it sounded like you might need to.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back at the monster's turn. And this time it's going to be attacking Catherine, Nicholas, and Thomas. Since Sansar stepped back. And that is 4 hits. So it hit Thomas twice. And then it hit each of you once. And Thomas has 18 hit points.
Thomas is a badass.
Catherine, take 1. Nicholas, take 1. And Thomas will take 7.
And just so our healer knows, I have 7 hit points left. For whatever that's worth.
Now, we are nearing the end of our time. Are you guys okay with finishing up the combat, or do you need to go?
I can finish.
Blocked off more
either way.
time. So.
Yeah, we can finish, sure.
Okay. Cool.
If you just want to narratively describe our dismal win, that works for me too.
Well, if everyone's okay with continuing to play, then we can continue to play. All right, so we're at the top of the round. It's you guys. Tell me what you want to do. Besides ring bells and get corpses wet.
I'd like to press my attack.
Ooh, yes, do that. Pressing is cool. So that means that your attack bonus, you get a +4, and your AC is your attack bonus is a +2, and your AC is a -4.
Right.
So this thing is totally going to chomp on you. But do it.
That's a 12.
That hits. Roll some damage, my friend. This thing is easy to hit. Relatively easy.
5.
5, 6, 7, 8 points of damage?
I think so.
Because you get your attack bonus to the damage as well.
Right.
Catherine has a +4.
Right, so this would be +6 for the press.
See? You make damage there.
11 damage.
1. You guys are... It looks slightly slower.
Phew.
Hi, Kitty. Yes, I know, Kitty. All right. That brings us... Let's see. So that was Catherine. Nicholas, what would you like to do?
I will continue with the scimitaaring, I suppose. So, rolled an 11, +1 is 12.
That is a hit. Roll me some damage.
Okay, so that's. I rolled a 1.
Oh. Plus, so 2 points of damage?
I have no strength modifier.
Yeah, but everyone has a base +1
Oh, okay, so
attack
then, yeah.
bonus.
Okay, so +2 then. Or 2 damage, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that brings us to Sansar. What would you like to do?
I don't have much faith in this bell, but I'll hold it in my left hand as I, hold my staff, in both hands in front of me. So I guess it'll be sort of rung in a haphazard way as I prepare to slap the thing with a staff.
Okay. Let me double check something. Okay. So you smack the bell with your staff. Now,
Well, no, I was going to hold the bell in my left hand while I held the staff in both hands.
oh,
So,
but you're ringing it still.
Yeah, that's the idea, if it's possible. Sounds feasible.
Okay. So you are just defending yourself, or
Yeah, I'll
just
take
you're
the
standing
parry
back?
option.
Okay. Well, it can't reach you behind Thomas at the moment, so
That's
you're still
fine
good.
with me. And our good friend Thomas the superhero, he does not distinguish himself this time.
No. All right, Narcissa.
Um,
You have a wet corpse who isn't moving,
yeah.
and there's whistling and screams outside from your friends.
Who took the red shield with them, by the way? Like the one with the red bird on it. Did anybody?
I inspected the red shield, but I did not grab it.
It was also
It's like
rusty and old, and the leather straps had rotted away.
I figured it had been affixed to the sarcophagus as like
Yeah, it's a
decoration.
ceremonial floss or something. Yeah. Okay. Well, I tried. I was hoping it was a desperate chance.
I totally understand. Yeah.
I'm gonna come charging back out. I'm still, I guess, in the rear. I don't want to push past everyone. But if I can, if Nikos is the most obviously hurt person, if I can cast Cure Light Wounds on him.
You most certainly can, sir.
Perfect.
Thank
So,
you.
You get back 1d6 plus 3.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to go ahead and roll that.
5.
Okay. 8 points, which I think you were down 7? Or down 2-7, never mind.
Mm.
All right, so that's your action for the round. So that means it is Mr. Ugly's turn again. Miss, hit. So Thomas is the only one who gets hit. And he takes 5 points of damage. Thomas isn't looking so good, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I cut out again. How much did I get healing on that?
5.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, no, it'd be 5 total. Sorry, I rolled a 2 plus 3. So.
Okay, 5. Thank you.
No problem.
All right.
So I think Thomas is down to 5 hit points, and you guys are kind of blocked in this hallway with this creature that does, like, it doesn't have a face. Actually, since you are now fighting it, in case you haven't seen it. Oh, you can't see, and maybe
It goes
black.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
That was totally weird. I have the hard copy around here somewhere, but you guys can kind of see that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's what the critter you're fighting looks like.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not attractive.
Totally weird. No, it's really not. Okay. So back to our battle. It is top of the round, and it is your turn.
I'm gonna press the attack again.
Oh, do it.
Before you guys attack, I'm gonna cast Bless on Catherine.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you should get 7 points you can distribute to. Let me just read the spell to make sure I'm giving you the right info. But it's you can put it on to hit rolls, damage roll. Oh no, it won't work on those. What? Oh man, it doesn't work on combats. What does this work on? I guess just skill checks. Never mind.
What? Weird.
Yeah, there's like specifically an accept damage roll. Oh no, sorry, I'm misreading that. It says accept damage rolls, so it'll apply to hit, saving throws, skill checks, surprise checks, whatever else except damage. Sorry, the
So
period.
Could use it on it to hit.
Exactly.
Okay. So I am going to blessedly press the attack. 14 plus 4 plus 7 is 25? 23? I'm not doing math very well. It's well over 20.
Yes, you hit. Please roll me some damage.
And,
So, to let you guys know, there's some stuff you can do while he's rolling the damage, such as aiming. You can take a full round to aim, which will give you a +4 to hit with a ranged weapon.
I do a total of 7 damage.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, I need to make a roll for the critter. I was just trying to see if there's any other advice I could give you guys to help, because I know this is a tight situation. Oh no, it failed its check. All right. So that last attack actually took off one of its little tentacle mouths. The whistling gets a lot louder, and the creature begins to kind of slide backwards down the hallway.
Someone needs to shoot that
It's
thing.
snapping its teeth at you as it retreats.
Is it full of air? Is that what this is? This thing is full of air.
Oh.
It's a balloon that needs popping.
Whistle, whistle. You guys are all free to make attacks against it as it retreats, including Thomas.
I will take a shot at it with my bow and arrow. And rolled a 5. Plus 3 is 8.
Nah, almost. Very close.
No successful attacks from this end.
Yeah. Am I in range even to attack, or?
You would have to move forward to attack it.
Okay. Oh, then yeah, I'll stay where I am.
Okay. So the creature makes it all the way back to the stairs, and it's still whistling and snapping its teeth at you. So if you want, you can follow and attack it again.
Keep it up.
Yeah, I'd like to press the attack one more time.
Do it.
Yeah.
Hit this fucker.
It's well over 20 again.
Oh yeah, yeah. Damage.
8 damage this time.
Okay. Last round of attacks. Everybody? Anybody?
Yeah, I'll try another arrow.
I'm gonna draw my flask of lantern oil and light it just in case this doesn't do it.
Yes. All right.
Well, Thomas will hit it one more time if the previous 13 was enough.
Yes. So he gets a d6 for damage. Nicholas, how is your arrow?
I rolled a 14 to hit, plus 3,
That
17. And I rolled a 6 for damage with plus 3 on my ranged attack is 9.
Yeah,
Okay.
6 damage.
All right. So Narcissa, you have the lamp oil ready, but the thing, as it's punctured by arrows and swords, it begins to spurt blood, and the whistling gets louder and louder, and the thing's just starting to flail around and just bleed everywhere. So it's up to you if you want to set it on fire, or if you want to hope that it dies before it decides to attack you again.
No, I'm setting it on fire. I'm gonna huck a thing at it. I am really terrible at throwing stuff, so I'm gonna aim. If I can aim this round, I will aim.
Sure. I was just looking at the rules for fire and aiming, and now I've lost them.
I have a -2 on ranged attacks, so.
Awesome.
That seems bad.
Yeah.
I won't lie. That seems bad.
So I will aim this round on the off chance that it doesn't die. I can always hit it next round.
Well, aiming is for a missile weapon only, but you are throwing that, so I'm cool with it.
Cool.
So that is +4 to your attack roll.
Winding up and aiming.
And then lamp oil is not napalm.
Yeah.
So.
We should have taken that soap.
Yeah. So
yeah,
go
I have
ahead
the soap.
So go ahead and attack, and I'll let you know what happens next.
Sure. So this is with the aim. I'm at a +2 total.
Okay.
19.
Yay! All right. So roll me a 1d4 of damage.
2 points of damage.
Okay. I wish you would have rolled a 4, but
We all wish that.
rolling a 4 whenever you're setting stuff on fire triggers extra stuff. And luckily, you guys are in a stone tunnel.
Yeah.
However, you are kind of trapped in the stone tunnel as the thing begins to burn and smolder. It's giving off this greasy smoke that the smoke feels like it actually is like clinging to the inside of your nose and your mouth. It smells like roasting pork, so it's almost attractive, but you know it's dead bodies that are burning.
Yeesh.
So basically,
Also, is roasting pork. So
yeah. So you guys, I assume, kind of waited out as it because it stops moving and it starts just like smoldering. It is just a pile of smoldering dead bodies in front of you. What do you want to do?
Poke it with a stick.
Okay.
I have a stick. Here you go.
Now, are
And
you still holding your staff like that with the bell?
I'm sort of holding it, but I'm not ringing it anymore. I suppose since it appears to have collapsed.
Okay. So you poke it with the stick.
I suppose there might be the incidental ring as I move around, but I'm not doing it deliberately.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you said that because that's totally fair. And as you hand your stick to Nicholas, the bell in fact rings. And once again, it's that loud ring that seems to shake the earth. And you guys hear a whistling sound behind you.
Okay, run.
That is
Run.
totally fair.
And then once we're up the stairs, shake the hell out of that bell and see if you can bring the walls down on top of that thing.
So you guys run up the stairs over the smoldering nastiness that was the monster.
Yeah.
We owe this village nothing. We owe them nothing. Not shit.
They did try to kill us.
They did this to their damn selves.
Very unfriendly. They had at least one cow, which I don't blame them.
Why would they build their village next to a scary swamp? Fucking anyways.
So you guys make it upstairs and you ring the bell, and you hear movement and whistling below.
Yeah, I think we know what that is.
Run. Run.
You said the road went north?
So as all of you run out of the church, and Thomas, whether he's charmed or not, he is like, you guys are the best, I'm with you.
I like him. He's kind of dumb, but
Yeah, Thomas has grown on me.
Yeah.
Awfully loyal for.
So as you run out of the church, you see that the fire has spread and the night is almost over. So the entire town is now smoldering. The only thing that's not on fire is the parts of it that were made out of stone. There are dead bodies in the streets of both human and that cow and the goats. Like, everything's dead.
Cow.
So we have no one to answer to, is what you're saying.
Yeah. The thing pretty obviously, like, killed anything it could find before going back into the church for you. And that's why you guys had so much time before it showed up. So you do have a bunch of silver and copper, and there is a road leading north if you would like to go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or unless you guys want to go back through the swamp. That seemed to work out the first time.
Swamp was pretty nice.
No,
And we
And
have Thomas now. It might be an easier trek.
and there were those other NPCs that were running trap ahead of us, so they should hopefully.
If we run into them, we just pretend like it never happened. Don't even
So-
mention it.
You guys travel north, and you do eventually run into a much nicer town, where you're able to get some healing, some good food, wash yourself off the stink of all the dead bodies. And in your travels, you do occasionally run across rumors of this town that has a church that's inhabited by a demon. And they're always looking for people to come and rid them of the demon.
Yeah, I had that job once.
So what you're saying is, for some reason, people want to resettle that village.
Yeah.
It's got a lovely view of the swamp.
I do want to thank you guys very, very much. That is the end of our adventure. Please stay online, though, so we can talk for a little bit. But I did want to thank our one viewer who stayed in there for the whole thing. You're awesome. And thank anyone else who watches this video later. Also, make sure to watch the rest of the games going on this ConTessa Spring Break. We have some awesome stuff, including tonight there's a Monster Hearts game. And but it's a new Monster Hearts game called Long Orbit. It's written by Rachel Walton, and I get to play in it. I'm so excited. Plus tomorrow we have a couple more games. We have another Lamentations game going on tomorrow. Plus I'll be running a D&D 5e game.
Nice.
But yeah, so thanks so much. And I will end the broadcast if you guys want to say goodbye to the internet.
Goodbye,
Thank you
everyone.
Bye,
much.
Internet.
Thank you, Sarah.